Welcome to another episode of Bee's Knees. I am Dr. Maria B., your holistic. Welcome to another episode of Bee's Knees. I am Dr. Maria B., your holistic physician, here to help you take back your life. Today's question comes from Miss Deborah, and she writes, Dr. B, I love your videos. I have been following you on Facebook, and I'm so happy to see you are now creating more videos with answers to real-life questions. By the way, you are rocking that bald head. Why? Thank you, Deborah. I am 45, and at age 28, I began battling depression. Initially, I did not want to take my meds. My mom did not think I needed them either. She felt like I just needed to change my diet. We weren't equipped with the knowledge and resources to handle it, and even if my mom was right. So I have been on medications now for the past 17 years. Since I follow you and believe in your message about the importance of a healthy lifestyle, it makes me wonder about my mom's belief regarding food and whether or not I could eat better to handle my depression as opposed to being on medication for the rest of my life. I never like the way the medicine makes me feel, and I don't interact much with others. Is this wishful thinking to do something different, Dr. B, or am I too late? Well, Deborah, you're definitely not too late. But first of all, the answer to your question would be you don't want to initially just come off of medication and stop taking it. You definitely want to follow your doctor's orders. So the answer that I give for anyone, including you who's listening to this today, my advice to you is not advice in recommending that you stop taking any medication. We're talking today about eating in order to help enhance your lifestyle based on you still continuing to take medication, or giving you the ability to use food and nutrients to feed some of the chemicals that you're lacking that's released from the neurotransmitters in order for you to feel better, and possibly working with your doctor, you can minimize the amount of medication that you're needing to take. There are two types of depression. One is clinical depression, and another one is the depressed state that some people have a tendency to just go through when they experience tough challenges in their life. You're more on the side of clinical depression, and in order for you to determine what's going to be best for you, the types of foods for you to take would be to have your urine tested and your blood tested. There's different tests that you can take in order to determine what type of chemicals that your brain isn't releasing. The most common one is called undermethylation. And what that means is that there's serotonin and dopamine that your body and your brain is not able to produce on its own. Another suggestion is to have your thyroid panel tested. Thyroid has been directly related to people who have walked through depression. Depression and thyroid go hand in hand, and most common what we have found is that there is either an underactive thyroid or an overactive thyroid. So I recommend that you have your thyroid panel conducted, and your doctor should be familiar with this in order for you to kind of get a full picture of everything that's going on. Now, if it comes to where it's serotonin and dopamine that your brain is not getting enough of, the types of foods that you should be eating in order to enhance this would be different types of starches, primarily brown wheat, not processed type starches. So we're talking about potatoes, we're talking about brown rice, we're talking about, you can do corn, we're also talking about wheat bread, if that's going to be a choice, because there's an amino acid that comes in these foods that convert over into the type of chemical that you're needing in order to produce more serotonin and more dopamine. You want to incorporate dairy products, meat, poultry, and nuts. Basically what you hear me saying, Deborah, is that you want to make sure that you have the most balanced diet that you could possibly obtain on a daily basis. The more that you eat a balanced meal, the better off you're going to be in terms of having some form of attack against depression. Depression is also driven by the moods that you're in. Okay, typically some of the characteristics are you can't sleep at night, you're very moody, you withdraw socially from other people, you stop talking so much about the way that you feel, and everything that's going on with you, you begin to internalize. Now, some of the nutrients that we want to make sure that you're taking, SAM-E, methionine, B2, B6, vitamin D, and tryptophan. If you're not familiar with these, you also want to discuss these things with your doctor, because again, if you're lacking serotonin and dopamine, the pieces that I'm suggesting to you today are directly related to neurotransmitters that are not firing off enough in order for you to get the type of chemicals that you're needing in your brain in order to suppress the depressed feelings that you're continuing to have. So Deborah, it's not too late, and I want you to make sure that you're getting enough exercise. You don't want to leave that out. Even though we're here to talk about the type of foods and eating your way out of depression, you also want to make sure that you're incorporating the other things, such as meditation. It's one of the things that I incorporate every morning before I start my day, is to sit still and kind of just visualize the positive things that I need to incorporate in order for me to get my day started off right. So exercise, meditation, and definitely a balanced diet. You want to make sure you incorporate green leafy foods. You want to have nuts as opposed to snacking on processed chips and M&Ms that the person behind the camera is eating right now. And you also want to make sure that you're doing whole grain, whole wheat type foods in order to prevent some of the eating habits that come along with taking medication and going through depression. Typically, either your weight shoots all the way up or your weight goes all the way down when you're dealing with depression. If you want to find yourself somewhere in the middle ground, you want to make sure that you're having a balanced diet with your starches and not going overboard and getting proteins, fats, and some of the other things that I mentioned, but you want to have some moderation in everything that you do. So Deborah, keep hope alive, because it's not too late. It's all about trying, and it's all about knowing that you don't have to give up, because there's always a solution to every answer or every problem that exists in this world today. Deborah, I know this was a lot to take in, but depression is a very serious topic, and it's one that we should spend more time talking about. The facts show that there's 1/6 of Americans actually suffer from depression, and only 50% of those people are getting help to address it. So that means there's 50% of people who are not really dealing with it, and they're having lots of issues in their life that could be addressed that would allow them to lead a better life. So if you're here and you want to live your best life, I'm going to leave you with my bee sting for today. If you don't feel like you're even close to feelings of happiness, living your best life is also very far away. And that was your bee sting for today. Come back and see me on Bee's Knees once a week on Mondays. I am Dr. Maria B., your holistic physician, here to help you take back your life.
Back when I had a little, I thought that I needed a lot.